You are listening to JosuBroadcast, Episode 11. Who needs to know archetypes? Welcome to my podcast, where there are good vibes, love, and it's only for nice people like you. Today, I will tell you a little story about how I learned archetypes. Also, I'm going to talk about who needs to know archetypes. I advise to listen to previous episodes 9 and 10 so you understand more what I'm talking. I don't want you to think I have gone crazy for making another episode of archetypes. It just seems an interesting topic to me. Archetypes theory is not something I made up. There are books about it. Some writers believe there are 3, 5, or 12 archetypes, so it's not something new. Feel free to search information online, and after that being said, let's continue with the episode. I was on my bed as always, the only place where I get inspiration, and I was thinking of how helpful it is to know archetypes. But at the same time, I wondered, does everybody needs to know what archetypes are for? Why should I continue making more episodes about archetypes? I was planning to make an episode about how to apply archetypes in real life, not only hobbies, but it felt I need to answer those questions. I need to make things clear. Not everybody needs archetypes. There is a specific type of person who needs to know archetypes. Why? I tell you why with a personal story. This story is going to give you an insight what kind of person needs to know archetypes. Everything started when I used to participate in video game tournaments almost 20 years ago when I was 15 years old, right when the internet was starting to become a thing. I barely knew how to use a computer, but whatever. The thing is, I loved fighting video games. I loved going to tournaments at least twice a year. Normally, more than 30 people used to participate. For me, it was a lot of people, but something I noticed is there were 3 guys who were really competitive. They were always playing in the final matches. Every tournament I went, they were there in the finals. The winner was not the best player, it was the one who was able to counter the strategy of the other player. What I'm trying to say is, those 3 players were like rock, paper, scissors game. Why is that? Because one was aggressive, the second one was creative, and the last one was defensive. Back in those days, I didn't know about archetypes. However, I learned there is always someone who can counter your strategy, as you always will counter the strategy of another one. Since then, I understood there is something that makes each person unique, and everyone will work for their dreams in their own way. It sounds very obvious because everyone is different, but understanding archetypes is very important so we avoid working on the same strategy, waiting for a miracle. The thing is, there is no perfect strategy, just strategies that counter one another. A couple of years ago, I was watching some motivational videos on YouTube and I found a video that talks about archetypes. I opened my eyes. It's like I became aware of everything that's happening in the world. Now, all I see are archetypes in people. I feel I can sense the fear, anger, and happiness inside people. Okay, no. Going back to the main topic, what I'm trying to say is archetypes are for competitive people. I have met people who don't care archetypes. They are not competitive at all, and I love that. I have learned a lot from people who are not competitive, and I think it is the best way to live life. I'm going to talk about it on a future episode. However, for those who are competitive, I want to give you 3 reasons why knowing archetypes can help you in your competitions. because there is a small line between a bad competition and a healthy competition. So let's talk only about the good things. That's why we are here, right? To learn good stuff. Reason number one, you'll develop a new skill. You are going to be able to identify your archetype and others' archetype in order to find a solution. You are going to understand why your emotions, feelings, and thoughts are the way they are. Also, you are going to understand the emotions, feelings, and thoughts from people that are around you. Reason number two, a better understanding of the fail and the success. You are going to learn what you need to change in order to have the results you want. It may be your behavior, your thinking, or your emotions that leads you. Whatever it is, you won't blame anyone for what is happening to you. You are going to work on changing. Reason number three, you'll focus on learning and having fun rather than winning. This is the best for me. Every time I fail or I see success, it's because I did something that leads to the fail or the success. We all have a natural response when failing or achieving something, either if it is happiness, anger, or sadness. You know you are a different person after each challenge. You are becoming a better person. Life is beautiful. There is something I always mention when I talk about archetypes. Never forget, knowing archetypes doesn't make you the best, but you are going to become aware of what is happening around you. You are going to have a healthy competition if that's how you see life. In my personal opinion, archetypes are everywhere, between you, me, and each person. We need them. They bind us. Together we are strong. The best way to explain archetypes is using a competition as an example. Otherwise, you may know them as a simple style of life. You won't feel the real meaning. Through years, I have learned life is not a competition. It's about being the best version of yourself. It's a journey. Enjoy it. Don't try to become a person of success, but rather become a person of value. Life would be better if we work on our personal development and make a positive impact on others so everybody can be happy. As Anne Frank said, whoever is happy will make others happy too. There may be something I missed from the archetypes theory, but I'm looking forward to learn more and more. Thank you for listening to this episode. The podcast is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. I have Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook accounts, so feel free to follow me on any of those social medias. Have a nice day.